Hello, I'm Leray Heyne, the founder of Windows of Heaven and our Jesus Christ CEO Ministries. Today I'm here at the Museum of the Bible, an amazing tribute to the Holy Bible. Teresa and I are honored to be founding members of the Museum of the Bible, and I'm here to encourage Christian business owners to enroll in our Jesus Christ CEO's Bible Institute. When you visit the Museum of the Bible, you will get to view biblical artifacts you will not get to see anywhere else. It is the same when you enroll in our Jesus Christ CEO's Bible Institute. As a Christian business owner, you will learn things you have not and will not learn anywhere else as it relates to your holy calling as a Christian business owner. The Museum of the Bible is all about the Holy Bible. Jesus Christ CEOs habitually abide in the Holy Bible with their body, heart, mind, soul, and spirit. Business owners that are ready to do the same, enroll today in our Jesus Christ CEO Bible Institute. And together, as authentic disciples of Jesus Christ, let's transform the nation's public squares of business with the Holy Bible as our manual for life and our companies.
Welcome back to the NRB, National Religious Broadcasting Convention and Exhibit in Nashville, Tennessee. We are Jesus Christ CEO TV, and we are here on the floor introducing our new virtual reality sets, and we are grabbing some people off the floor that we think can add value to what Jesus is doing in business. And our team has grabbed Alan Brokken.
Yeah, that's right. Alan Brokken.
Thank you for showing up and letting us have a little conversation here.
No, I think it's really cool. I love the set. It looks pretty awesome from outside.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about you, and we'll get deep into your story here.
Sure. So I'm the CEO of Towers of Light Christian Resources. We provide educational materials for kids, homeschools, private schools, things like that. But we also have fantastic storytelling. And our main goal is to really improve practical literacy because that's the gateway to biblical literacy. And then in addition to that, that's kind of my kingdom business. It's what I run on the side at that. But we also have my day job. I work in big tech and sales.
So I want to come back to your business first. You were telling me a story about your children and reading and listening, because I asked you, I said, well, how's the Lord been using this business to affect you? And I could tell you got a little emotional when you told that story.
Yeah. So, early on in my business career, when I was traveling for work, again, big tech, I was separated from my family a ton. And it was just tough. You call home and they'd say, Daddy, what'd you do today? And I would be like, I had nothing. Yeah. Like just work was hard. And so one day I said to my son, he was telling me about Sparkle Frog, his little stuffed animal. And I said to him, hey, and then what happened? He told me a story, and he kept telling me a story. I had 4 words I could say, and then what happened, and we had a conversation. And then one day he said, but Daddy, you tell me what happened. Now I'm stuck because I don't have a story for my son. So we spent a little bit of time, and after a little bit, I decided during my devotional time in the morning, I'd start to write stories.
Oh, wonderful.
Write this story about Sparkle Frog to start out with. Then I had to bring in the other stuffed animals because my other kids were jealous, and so you get Meow Meow and Daddy Duck, and it all turns into a story, and I have some books.
Right.
And so, we're a homeschooling family. I'd written some books for my homeschooling family, and other families were like, well, that sounds like a cool story. I'd like to read it.
Yeah.
And so we published some books, and again, this is kind of my own business on the side. And then I had some people say, well, could you make that curriculum for me? Could you make that like a language arts program?
Right.
So we added that on, and then it was like, well, my own son was having challenges reading, and so what do we do about that? Well, we learned that if you follow along the page while you hear someone read it to you, if you read while listening, you learn faster, you learn how to read. And so after about 2 years of that for him, we were able to get him over that, and he can read just fine, and he's off in college now.
So you created audio versions of
Absolutely, that's what we did. We created audio versions to go with the content, and now we have a whole system where you can basically accelerate your child's reading. And it's really important right now because a lot of kids are behind. Like 70% of kids in 4th to 8th grade today are behind on reading.
Right. So now, and you call this a kingdom business,
that's
right?
Correct.
So this is the business that you have, you own, you're the CEO of this business, and this is how you're serving the Lord by serving his children.
Yeah, so it's something that we work with other ministry organizations, other things to help source them, right? So whether you're like a Christian homeschool co-op or a Christian private school, that kind of thing, we come in and help you with the curriculum because it is a faith-based curriculum.
Right.
But also we just find solutions for people. I have a lot of authors that would maybe want to do the same thing. And so we find ways to help them. but it is a business, right? In the end, it's got to make a profit. It's got to be functional,
Right.
But it's definitely dedicated to the Lord and to basically proclaiming the truth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, amen, amen. So I love that, but I want to get to this next piece because you just told me something off camera that I want people to hear, especially Christians who work for other company owners, whether they're Christian or not. You serve the Lord in another capacity in the marketplace. And how do you serve the Lord in this other company?
Yeah, so I work for a big tech company as a go-to-market strategist. I work on large-scale sales programs and things like that. But I'm also fairly open about my faith. Like this other business that I do, I mean, I take appropriate time off of work to do what I do.
Right.
There's no, from an integrity perspective, I'm honoring that master, so to speak.
Right.
But
if you shared who the company was, most Christians would think that you wouldn't be allowed to share your faith in that company.
yes,
Right.
yeah, and to a certain extent, maybe that's true, but it comes back to LinkedIn is my platform.
Right.
Like my LinkedIn account's my LinkedIn account.
Right.
So I'm just as happy to share that I was on this interview as I am to share a product announcement for my company because that's my social network.
Right.
And what I've been surprised is how much feedback I get on LinkedIn from other Christians that their faith has been encouraged by what I had to say.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, in our talk earlier, you asked me, how has God shown you something in this, right? And like one of the most followed videos I had, I talked about reaping and sowing. And it was that I had gone off, taken time off of my day job to go do Towers of Light.
Yep.
And I was in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, doing a book tour, and nobody was showing up. Well, they didn't know me, right? Like, why would they show up? But I was taken by, there were all these harvesters harvesting the grain. And what God told me in that is, you can't reap where you haven't sown. Right? Like at the end of the day, if it wasn't sown, you can't reap it. So at the time, I had one day where literally 2 people came in the store the whole day I was there and no real sales or whatever. But 3-4 months later, I get an email from a lady and saying how much she enjoyed the book. She'd gone and bought it later and all that. So I think that's one of the encouragements. I got so much feedback from both, my Christian peers at work or Christians in my network as I did from non-Christians about, thank you for that reminder that not everything's going to work out, but we still need to sow because you can't reap a harvest that you haven't sown.
Right. So let's do another one. How has God... So our whole network is all about telling the world what Jesus is doing in business. And what you're hearing is Alan is what Jesus is doing in business, whether it's his Christian Kingdom company or whether he's working for this secular high-tech company. So as you live out your faith in this high-tech world, give us some examples of how it's encouraged those people.
Well, so one of the things that really kind of threw me is just the way that I've had some people on my team that just were struggling, for whatever reason, family issues, COVID really wrecked a lot of people's family life and other stuff. And just saying, hey, you know what, is it all right if I pray with you? Whether they're a believer or not, just saying, look, they know I'm a person of faith. They know that I believe in God because I'm pretty transparent about it. But I've just been surprised at the reception to me offering that, right? Like, just because it's like, well, maybe I don't believe what you do, Alan, but I sure appreciate your prayers.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. Well, I'm glad that you sat down with me to share your story. I know you are going to encourage business owners all over the world.